Hello, I'm Celine. I want to read Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs story. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young princess named Snow White. She lived with her stepmother, the evil queen, who was very jealous of her beauty. One day, the queen asked her magic mirror who was the fairest in the land. The mirror replied that Snow White was the fairest of all. The queen was furious and ordered a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and kill her. The huntsman took pity on Snow White and let her go. Snow White wandered through the forest until she came to a cottage. The cottage belonged to 7 dwarfs who were away at work. Snow White cleaned the cottage and cooked a meal for the dwarfs. When the dwarfs returned home, they were surprised to find Snow White. They invited her to stay with them and she agreed. The queen, not knowing that Snow White was still alive, disguised herself as an old woman and went to the cottage. She gave Snow White a poisoned apple, which put her into a deep sleep. The dwarfs thought Snow White was dead and placed her in a glass coffin in the forest. A prince who was riding through the forest came upon Snow White and fell in love with her. He kissed her and the magic of the apple was broken. Snow White woke up and the prince took her back to his castle. They were married and lived happily ever after. The story of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs is a classic fairy tale that has been told and retold for generations. It is a story of love, kindness, and overcoming evil. It is a story that has been enjoyed by children and adults alike for centuries. Here are some of the important lessons that we can learn from the story of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Beauty is not everything. What matters most is inner beauty. Kindness is always rewarded. Evil will always be defeated. Love is the most powerful force in the world. I hope you enjoyed this story.